Greetings everyone. My name is Andile Kongo, assistant medical student from the University of KZN. From the University of KZN, KZN. Actually doing my final year, and I'm also part of the Internship SA group, whereby we ask our interns or medical officers to come and share the insights regarding different hospital they did internship in. So today we are honored to have one of the second year medical interns from Ferreira Hospital in Mpumalanga. So, Dr. Skakane, can you just please introduce yourself to us?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Venilis Kakani. I'm a second-year medical intern here at Ferreira Hospital. I also studied at UKZN, completed my undergrad in 2023. So today we'll be talking about Ferreira Hospital internship. I have a couple of questions to answer, but feel free to ask any other question outside of the questions that were sent to me. Okay, so how's the work environment here? It's very healthy. There are a lot of friendly people. The nurses are very friendly around here. It's just the lack of resources and stuff. It's really straining. So our hours here, we work from 7:30 up until 4 p.m. When it comes to calls, last year, so I just want to make it known that last year we were a very small group of interns compared to this year. There were 7 interns in each group. So I started with surgery last year. There were only 7 interns then. So the work was a lot. So our hours were also a lot. We were doing 96 to 112 hours. We were doing 5 to 6 calls per month, which is beyond the 80 hours that is required by HPCSA. But anyway. But otherwise, people are very helpful. The seniors are very nice. They're very helpful. You work 2 to 3 weekends, but also we were a small group last year. This year is very different. People are working 1 to 2 weekends because there are more interns. So it's not that strenuous. So I'm just going to go through the 4 big rotations and then the 2 small rotations that I've been through this year, tell you about my experience, how I found them. So I started with surgery. I would rate it a 4 out of 5. I had very good seniors, good supervision, good exposure. There were like proper use of protocols, and we were rotating through different departments. Like this week it'd be neurosurgery, the next week gen surge. Because we're a small group, unfortunately, we couldn't like rotate through all the subspecialties of surgery, but you rotate through neurosurgery, urology, ped surge, plastic surgery, and then big gen surge. It's very nice to see different comorbidities, how to manage them. And the most important thing that I got out of surgery is you need to learn how to resuscitation from the ones that are hemodynamically shocked, trauma, be able to manage them. So the practice slowly came in with good supervision and seniors. With time, it just got a bit better because the first few recesses, I was panicking a lot, didn't know what to do. But again, a healthy working environment with good seniors, it really just made things better. And then I did internal medicine. This one I would rate it a 3 out of 5. There were good seniors, but there was a lack of supervision. There was a lot of independence that I was given. I appreciate independence, but not too much of it. For example, we would be given all the ward work, and after rounding, that's it. Whether I can do a procedure or I can't doesn't really matter. A senior will only come when I've failed, and they won't really like be enthusiastic to like teach me how to do it. So that was, the downside of internal medicine. Otherwise, they also like have very good protocols, good seniors, they're kind. The other thing that I didn't like about internal medicine is patients dying a lot. I think my worst call there, I had admitted around 17 patients, had like 5 deaths, I don't know how many recesses, and yeah. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5, honestly. It was not my best. And then ONG, oh my God, I give it a 5 out of 5. It was the best rotation that I had last year. There were good seniors. I had good exposure to gynae and obstetrics. I was also given a lot of independence, but with good supervision. One thing that helped me there, even with the other rotations, is a teachable spirit. The minute my seniors saw that I was interested in knowing how to do something, they showed initiative at teaching me things, showing me how to do stuff. For example, like for ONG, I really say it's the best rotation because the consultant there makes interns cut more than 10 Caesars. You're monitored, you're taught how to like make a proper surgical knot. You are taught how to do a Caesar from the beginning till the end, all alone, with just your senior being an assistant. I really found that nice, even with evacuation of the uteruses. We interns were the ones booking them and doing them in theater. The only time you would call a senior is if the patient is hemodynamically unstable only. Otherwise, we were expected to do those things, and it was really nice. By the end of ONG, I had done more than 20 Caesars alone. So it was really nice. I got good surgical exposure there. And then, so the downside of ONG, in as much as I give it a 5 out of 5, the calls were draining. It was the one rotation where I would be on call and stand the entire night. No sleeping. If it's not ops with many Caesars, it's gynae with miscarriages, unstable patients. Yeah. And with pediatrics, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. There's good exposure training, good supervision and teaching. You know, again, with peds, I was taught how to resusc early because with peds, whenever there's a Caesar, you are called to receive the baby. So if there's something wrong with the baby, perhaps there's a fetal distress and now the upwards are poor. I had to learn early to resusc a baby, first listen to the heartbeat. If the pulse rate is above 100, then it's fine. No need for chest compressions. If it's below 60, you need to begin chest compressions. Call your MO, prepare the adrenaline. I learned in theater how to mix the adrenaline, being taught by people because a baby came out flat. I called my senior. He was on his way, but I was alone. The only thing I could do was neopath the child. And while giving rescue breaths, I had to ask someone to please give chest. While I'm giving like the rescue breath, someone needs to be doing chest compression. So it was a mess. From that experience, I went and I learned how to resuscitate a child properly. So the following times when I had a flat baby coming in, it was obviously like a resus. So obviously I would panic, but I knew what to do. You need to know how to mix adrenaline. You need to know how to give it. All of those things. You need to know how to neopuff babies and all of that. But again, I had very good seniors in peds and the teaching was really good. It's just Bella, it was peds and peds is not my favorite. But otherwise it was a very good rotation. And then this year I've done psychiatry and anesthesia. Psych was also very interesting because I got more exposed to acute patients, like the ones that are like in manic episodes, more than the ones that I used to see in medical school, where I just be given a patient who's been chronic. Here I got to deal with patients who are like sedated because they're violent and all of that. I got to learn more about psychiatry and go into depth with it. It was very interesting. I liked it actually. And then also there with psychiatry, there's not much to do, but there was good supervision, very like healthy working environment. The hours got less this year because there's not much to do, so we don't have to like call every day. And then I did anesthesia and I loved it so much. The seniors are also, they are amazing. They teach you how to mix emergency drugs, how to pull up the drugs for a patient, how to calculate. Sometimes they would, for me, by the end of anesthesia, I was able to do general anesthesia from the beginning till the end alone. Obviously, my senior would be there, but only just assisting me and reminding me to do what. I was intubating, always taking the lead, Yeah, always taking the lead. It was really nice, honestly. So the thing that I have learned from all of these rotations is to have a positive mindset towards every rotation, because even if you don't like something, for example, Peter is not my favorite, but I went in there with a positive mindset and I learned so much. I really enjoyed it. All of these rotations had approaches to common conditions. It makes life easier for you. Some departments don't have the best protocols. So I used to just come back and look up approaches like for example, when I was starting surgery, what is the approach to upper GI bleed? What do I need to give? What do I need to book for the patient? As soon as that was established, it was easier for me to go to casualty, see a patient, decide whether is this patient stable or not. Should I call my senior now, or can I admit the patient to the ward and then book a G-scope in the morning? Do I know how to optimize the HB? What do I need to do? All of those things. Just have an approach to common conditions. The more complicated stuff, with a good environment, it slowly gets into your head. But for me, it was not difficult because I've had good supervision, honestly, throughout the rotations. They're kind, they're willing to teach and help. Um, Teachable spirit as well. Respect your nurses, they know more. They're always willing, oh well, the ones that I've encountered, they're very kind. They were always willing to help me. Even when I didn't know like how to fill up a BI form, the one that you need to fill up when a patient has demised. I didn't know how to do that when I first started internship. The nurses took me, they taught me how to do it. They said, this part you need to fill in, this you don't. This is what we do. Yeah, just respect them. Some are not nice, but most are nice. And just be professional. In as much as you want to be friendly, but maintain professionalism, because at the end of the day, you are there to work, not to make friendships. If you do make friends, that's nice. Learn Amarisas, revise like the BALS protocols, so that when you get to a patient who they say the patient is choking, you know, okay, there's an ABC. Before you run to the chest to do chest compressions, you know there's ABC. Okay, fine, the patient is choking. Okay, and B is compromised, but it's C fine. If there's a pulse, now you need to sort out A. Your mind will come back, the protocol will slowly come back, because if you don't revise these things, when an emergency comes up, it's going to be a mess. And with the resources, they're usually a mess anyway. And honestly, in as much as we were small groups of interns last year, yeah, the hours were long, they were draining, but I have to say that I gained so much experience. When I compared myself to my other friends in other hospitals, they said that they rarely, for example, in ONG, they rarely cut Caesars, they just assist. And I'm like, I usually take the lead, and I've done more than 10. I do evacs of Beatrice's alone in theater. I really call my senior. What do you mean that you're only assisting? Some haven't put up CVPs. For me, from Gen Surg, I was taught how to put up CVPs, not just the femoral one, even the jugular ones. Unfortunately, I haven't been successful with jugular ones. But the fact that they were always pushing me, I'm always trying, even in internal medicine. Sometimes they'll even leave me alone and be like, no, you'll be fine. With that independence left with me, I knew that, okay, this patient is flowed behind. It's an old patient, the veins are very bad, needs a CVP, needs fluid resus. I had to learn and I had to do it. So there's a lot of experience to gain, honestly. Yeah, it's tiring because there were not a lot of us, but there's so much to learn in this hospital, I won't lie. It's a lot. Also, you also have to be willing to learn, because no one will force you to do anything. And then with DQ, it's just that I don't think I'm comfortable showing you my place, but it's like a proper one-bedroom apartment. It's in very good condition. It's a walking distance to the hospital. So the DQ is within the hospital premises. So I basically walk 2 minutes to the hospital. It's very safe. Parking is safe. You can even like walk, because the walking distance to the nearest Woolies is like 2 kilometers. I used to do that last year until I got lazy, so I don't do it anymore. So it's furnished, meaning that we have a stove, we have cupboards here. The bathroom has a bath and a shower. It has a basin as well. There's somewhere to connect the washing machine, and then you have your 1 bedroom. It also has 2 wardrobes and also a study place. So it's very spacious. When my family brought me here last year, they were shocked. And I'm going to tell you how much I pay for this DQ. You'll be surprised. So it's furnished with water and electricity. I pay for rent, water, and electricity. It's very well. If you don't like DQ, there's also affordable housing outside from 6,000 to 8,000 rent. Yeah. I think I do have like friends that paying like 6,000 to 8,000 rand. That is excluding water, electricity. But I mean, affordable considering some places are really expensive. And do you need a car? Like I only bought my car this year. I could manage. There's no Uber here. There's no Uber or the other app. So you basically use cab drivers, and those are really expensive. But I mean, I was able to get around. Also had friends who bought cars earlier than me. So yeah. So how much do I pay for my rent and water and electricity? I pay 900 Rand for rent, and I pay 35 Rand for water and electricity. So in total, I only pay 935 for this beautiful place for water and electricity. They take it from my pay slip. Yeah, it's a really nice place, honestly. Yeah, good infrastructure. It's well maintained as well. So yeah. How much do I earn? So they just bumped our salary by 2,000 Rand. So the only hospital in Mpumalanga that gets rural allowance is Temba Hospital. Yes, only Temba Hospital. We don't. Woodbank doesn't get. We were getting 48,000. Now I'm getting 50K. 50K is after they've taken the money for rent and electricity. So that's pretty much a good salary to me. I don't know about that. My other colleagues get more because they're obviously in rural areas. But considering what I have a nice one-bedroom apartment place, and then a hospital is just 2 minutes away within one premises. I'm actually living really comfortably. I'm not complaining at all. And then, so if you don't do overtime, which interns don't have a choice, as an intern, you do compulsory overtime. It's part of your training. But if you were to not do overtime, basic salary is 37,000. So if you get pregnant, you don't do overtime, so you won't get the other overtime. So you would basically get 37K. This is after the bump in our salary. So I'm assuming that it was 35 before. So that will only apply to you if you get pregnant and you want to take maternity leave. But otherwise, our salary now is 50K. And then, so quality of life, yeah, very good quality of life. I honestly love it. My mental health is in a good place here. If you need help, we have a good occupational site where you're able to, like, if you need days off for therapy, and I'm so glad that I haven't had any mental problems, but for people who've had struggles, they do go there and you are given time off. There's a lot of support here, which is something that I really appreciate. Some people are obviously toxic. That, I think, it's in every hospital. But honestly, there's good quality of life here. As I said, I only pay like 935 Rand for a very beautiful big place, which includes water and electricity, 35 Rand. And hospital is literally there. The closest shopping center is 2 kilometers away. You can walk if you want. There's a spa there, there's a Woolies, many stores there. There's gym as well. Yeah, there's pretty much everything surrounds me here because I'm at the CBD, near CBD. Everything is around me. It's easy access for me. And then because I'm still an intern, unfortunately, I am doing a lot of work. So I would say I spend 50% of my time at work because I mean, you work from 7:30, other departments is from 8 to 4. For example, if you're on call, some departments say post call is at 1 p.m. So if you start on Monday, 8 p.m., you start working and you like go to 4 p.m., you start your call at 4 p.m., you work the entire night, you hand over at 8 a.m., and then you work 5 more hours. Yeah. But other departments, post call is at 12, some is at 10. This year, my post calls have been healthy. I've been getting post call like at 8 a.m. But last year, Gen Surg post call was 12. Internal medicine post call was 1 p.m. ONG post call was after you finish postnatal, which if postnatal was 4, you can go up to 1 or 2. That's how bad it would get. And then with peds, post call was 10, so that was nice. And then this year, psych, not much to do. I usually just got post call like at 8, didn't have to do much anyway. And even the calls, I guess, like, you can spend literally the entire night. I would spend most nights at my place sleeping the entire night because there's no patient or there's one patient. We club for an hour and then we're done. And then anesthesia, also very healthy environment, good post call at 8 a.m. So yeah, I have a good quality of life here. And another thing is, Mpumalanga is a very beautiful province. I get to go to these different places with my friends. We explore. We just, reboot after having like difficult rotations or weeks, because weeks and days are not the same. I've also like gone on some holidays around. Like I went to Kruger last year. It was really nice. Went to this really nice place. Yeah, Mpumalanga is really beautiful. I also went to Kraskow for my birthday last year, where I chickened out of doing bungee jumping, so I did something else. But just telling you that Mpumalanga is a really beautiful province. There's a lot to do here, and my internship experience has been good. I'm not complaining a lot because I'm learning a lot, and the good is more than the bad. The bad is just the lack of staff and lack of resources. It's really bad, honestly. When I compare my time as a student in KZN and now in Mpumalanga, I'm like, no. We, for example, you really have a resource trolley that is packed like with everything that it needs to have. Sometimes in the middle of a recess, you need a working laryngoscope, and it's either the blade is broken. Yeah, the shortfalls are real. You can have a lot of patients, and then there are fights between departments. Like, we'd like to take this patient and put this patient in this department. Now you're an intern, you're in the middle of matrons fighting, not wanting to take patients. I can get a lot, but overall, I've had a good experience as an intern. I might stay here for ComServe, but I wanted to come back to KZN for many reasons, like family and all of that. And because, yeah, well, I'm away from home and all of that. Um, but otherwise, I mean, my experience has been really good here. Would I advise you to come to Rob Ferreira for internship? No, I wouldn't. I actually wouldn't. I've had a good rotation. I've had good rotations and a good experience because I just try to have a positive mindset towards most of these things. But if you are in UKZN at the moment and you're exposed to the good healthcare system there, you're going to be a bit depressed when you come here and you find that we don't have enough needles in the ward, no syringes. We are like a district hospital at times, even worse, even worse. The thing that really makes me sad is when patient care is compromised because, in as much as yeah, there's a lack of staff and resources, it can get really political. Like, I won't go into detail how political it can get, what I mean by that, but yeah, sometimes it's just like, this is not really fair. But anyway, but overall, I mean, if you want to come here, you can come. You'll have it. Most probably have a good experience because most departments are good, healthy. They're trying their best, really, with the constraints and everything, and a failing healthcare system. People are really doing great and doing their best. So, anyway, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you are free to ask me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Jenny, for that. That are so helpful, that are so simplified, yet comprehensive. Thank you so much for that. I have a few questions from my side. So, the first question that I have for you, I wanted to know if Rob Ferreira was your first choice, and what were your the other choices, and what criteria did you use when you're choosing your five choices? Like which three provinces you chose, and what criteria did you use when you're choosing those provinces as well? Because you might find that there is someone Lana who wants you like who doesn't know how to go about choosing their choices, but maybe if you can give a tip on how you choose your own choices, they can get some light or some insights on that. So can you please share that?
Okay, so Rob Ferreira Hospital was my fifth choice. The first three hospitals I chose were KZN hospitals, and then the fourth one was Eastern Cape. And then I only chose Rob's because I heard of that the DQs are really beautiful and everything. And then I got accepted here. ICSP will do you dirty. One thing about them, they will do you dirty. But I mean, last year, most of the people in UKZN got their first choices. The only thing that made me like accept that I got Rob's as my first choice was that all of the choices that I got that I chose were hospitals that I wanted to go to. So if I'd gotten the Eastern Cape one, I was going to be happy because I'd done thorough research on the work environment, the DQs, surroundings, like, yeah, I had done my research on those hospitals. That's why I chose them. And I was glad that I didn't get something that I didn't choose. I mean, I was glad that I got something that I chose because, yeah, I'd mentally prepared for all of the hospitals I chose. And I'd advise that when you're applying, don't put your mind on your first option. Put your mind on all of your options because anything can happen with ICSP. Okay. Am I paid for overtime? Yes, I am. Basic salary is 37,000. And then with my overtime, it bumps and goes to 50,000. Is ROBS a popular option? It is because, I mean, people are not aware that there's we sometimes operate like a district hospital at times because of the lack of resources and staff and a messed up system. But the DQs are very popular. That is also the reason why I wanted ROBS, even though I made it my fifth choice, it was in my mind. And before COVID hit, the sisters told me that this used to like be a proper tertiary hospital. ROBS is actually a tertiary hospital. So they told me that this was like a proper functioning hospital. And then after COVID hit, politics got into play, and then some things, didn't operate as well as they used to. A lot of consultants leave. They're still resigning even this year. Yeah, so she mentioned that the baseline salary is 37K and overtime is compulsory as an intern. Yeah, okay. That person just answered what I was saying. What was the hospital in Eastern Cape? It was Nelson Mandela, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Nelson Mandela. Lebogang, so it depends on the hospital. Last year, they only took, I think, 28 interns in the beginning because there were only seven in each rotation, in the big 4 rotations. But then as the year went by, people who were joined, there were other people who joined us, the asynchronous interns. So it just depends on the hospital. This year they took more than 50, so they're big groups. So it just depends on the hospital, really. I don't really know about the politics of how they take patients. Yeah. How's the surgical exposure? It was really good. You get to go to theater and assist, and if you're willing and you want to, I had good seniors. They would let me suture, close up patients. But if I was too tired, they'd feel sorry for me and say, go sleep. Some of my other colleagues, they would assist in debridements, do toectomies, assist in below knee amputations, even if you won't cut the bone, but just like cutting through until you get to the femoral vein, and then the senior will say, no, okay, fine, I'll take over from here. If you're willing, they will allow you. You need to have a teachable spirit. You need to be respectful towards them. Because another thing that is a factor when you're doing a surgical discipline is that anesthesia might be annoyed when the surgeon says, no, I'll let the intern close. But honestly, my seniors they'll just say, no, ignore them. And then guiding you how to suture properly, because that's how you learn, honestly. And then what happens if you fall? Okay. So if you fall pregnant, let's say you had done your first rotation and you completed it and you don't begin the other one, you can take your full 3 months of maternity leave. And then when you come back, you are going to have to complete the rotation that you didn't do the other 3 months. Basically, your internship is extended by 3 months. That's the only thing. And when you are on maternity leave, you don't get your full salary with overtime. You just get basic salary. That's all.
Thank you so much for that. Also, the other question that I have is that I wanted to know where is the area exactly in Mpumalanga? So, and then also, is it safe to like move around? Are there any crimes around the area?
So Ferreira Hospital is in Bombela. It's I'd say it's in like close to the CBD. So it's very safe. I used to walk to the closest shopping center when I first came here. I would walk alone. I've never been mugged, or that doesn't mean muggings don't happen, but generally it's so safe. You rarely hear that someone has had an incident. Even here in DQ, I once made a mistake of leaving my keys on the door and I went to work. And when I came back from work, my key was literally on the door, so I was scared. But when I came in, everything was in place. Incidences, nah, I've never heard of an incident here in DQ. It's very safe, even outside. It's a very safe place that I can give you. That doesn't exclude, obviously, like the possibility that crime does exist, but very low incidence. Even our parking, it's an access restricted area because you enter the hospital, they search you in your car, identify who you are, and then if you're a doctor, you come to DQ. If you're a family member coming to see someone, you then go to the hospital. It's two different lanes. So I'd say it's relatively safe. No. So, okay, DQs, firstly, they are furnished. They have a stove, they have a lot of plugs around. You do have like a sink with just the basic kitchen cupboards and then the shower as well. You have a shower and a bath, you have a basin, you have a toilet, you have a place to plug your washing machine. Bath bedroom, I mean, has two sides of wardrobes and a study place. So very spacious and big. And no, you come with your own bed, you come with your own fridge. Predominant languages that I used here is Siswati, and some Tsonga here and there. Not really that common, but Tsonga and Shangane, some patients, especially the ones that come from Mozambique, because we are near the border. So we do have a lot of patients that come from Mozambique and Swaziland, but Swati is the most commonly used language here, and a bit of Tsonga here and there. Portuguese, yes, but nah, really, I can't speak Portuguese at this point. And then, yes, so there is a lot of TB here, but just the normal TB, not the resistant ones. We in the medicine ward, we do have like a specific TB ward, but the patients are not dying of TB, they're dying of other things like complications. So yeah, there are quite a number of TB cases and exposure, but not the really critical patients are sent to another hospital in Free State. I just forgot the name of it. If you have XDR, I think you are referred to this hospital, the specific TB hospital in Free State. We don't keep them here. Yeah, but we do isolate the TB cases and put them in their own cubicle. And then obviously you need to wear a mask when you get into any internal medicine ward. When you on call. Yes. So for me, I've always had the luck of having a senior when I'm on call, but they don't always come out, name. For example, I'm currently doing ortho. The MOs don't usually come out here. If I assess a fracture, okay, maybe it's a fibular fracture, whether A or B, whatever. I'm most probably just like they'll talk to my senior and then my senior will tell me there's a patient in casualty. I'll then take an x-ray and then I'll send him or her the picture and then she'll be like, okay, this is the plan. And then I have to do it. They show you once, back out to a pie, back slabs, certain parts. Yeah. With other things, honestly, with ortho, honestly, the supervision is not the greatest because I had my first full 24-hour call yesterday with a different senior who only came out like 3 times compared to my last call on Sunday where I was with a very good senior who came out for all the cases and was teaching me. And she only came out like, 3 times? And I had to do the back slabs alone. I had to ask for help from casualty staff. I was the one making plans. Yeah, it's very dependent. Like some seniors are not the same. It just depends who you're calling with. Some are very like involved. Some are lazy. They'll just give you plans over the phone. And yes, there were times where I was left alone as an intern. One example would be when I was doing peds. They called me to labor ward telling me that a woman was giving birth to, she was 32 weeks pregnant and she was having preterm labor. They gave steroids And anyway, she was just like fully dilated when she came. So there was no way trying to stop the no. So when I came there, I told my seniors, but they were nowhere to be found. So I had to run to labor ward alone with one neopath. I asked for another neopath from the other sisters. And basically, yeah, I resourced those twins alone and I admitted alone. Yeah, wasn't a nice experience. But at least it was in my third month of doing peds. So I don't know. They have this thing of if they can see that you can do something, they just leave you alone. And I think that's a good thing, but also a bad thing. I do want to learn. I do want to do like things alone, but I always appreciate the help of a senior and the presence of the senior so that if things go wrong, I have someone. And then what what were their hospitals in KZN that were your choices? Oh, let me try to remember. I think I chose Newcastle. What other hospital did I choose? My God, I think I drew. My first choice was I think Newcastle. Did I put Ladysmith? My God, I don't know why I don't remember this properly. But I think I put Newcastle and Ladysmith. Yeah. The third one I do not remember properly. Between Stanga and Belezani, I think between those two hospitals. Yeah. How many dynamics of each? How are the dynamics for each department? How many MOs and how many consultants? Anyway, as I previously said, a lot of consultants are resigning from this hospital because of the politics and everything. But for example, in Gen Search, there are like 5 to 6 MOs, 2 firms, and 2 consultants. In internal medicine, only 2 consultants. In ONG, 2 full-time consultants and 2 sessional ones. In PEDS, I think there's 6 consultants and a lot of MOs. Psych, 2 consultants. Anesthesia, 1 full-time consultant and 4 sessional. And then with ortho, I have 3 consultants and how many MOs? 6, 7, around that number. So in most departments, they've hired more actually. So there are adequate number of MOs. However, the consultants, besides PEDS, the other departments have like 2 and then sessional, but yeah, most are resigning. There's very good academic teaching here. And yes, most rotations have academic meetings. With all the rotations I've been in, there are academic presentations, there are M&M meetings, there are full like ward rounds where you go patient to patient, exploring different cases and being taught. There's really good academic teaching that I will give them. How many interns are on call with you? So it depends. Since last year, there was like, we were a small group. You'd be the only intern on call. And then by the time we did Ops and Gynae, we had been joined by some asynchronous interns. So on weekend, you'd have a full person who's on call and then someone who's doing a cover. A cover is only 12 hours, so from 8 to 8 p.m. But you're mostly alone. Yeah, you're the only intern on call. In rotations that had like usually 2 interns on call, but not full. One will do 24 hours, the other will do half a call. Were kids, Ops and Gynae. But this year it's changed. It's actually better. There are usually 2 interns because there's enough interns this year. Yes, I would definitely recommend ROPS for someone. If you love surgery and Ops and Gynae, you're going to benefit a lot from coming here because the consultants from Gen Surg they just need to see that you have a teachable spirit. And then they're going to help you. They're going to teach you. Any question they ask you is for you to study and know better. They're going to involve you in theatre cases, even your MOs, because mostly it's the MOs that cut. The consultants will come for the really big cases and do elective cases. Once you show interest, they're gonna also make you like feel involved. You're gonna learn a lot. Some of my MOs were doing internship here. One specifically loved surgery. He's now an MO in surgery. And they love him so much because he's good. But Also, his reputation is very good that he was a good intern, he was involved, he was very teachable and respectful. So yes, I would definitely recommend this hospital if you want a lot of surgical exposure, learning. The consultants are good. Obs and gynae, very good as well. I cut more than 20 Caesars by myself. The consultants, even when you do ComServe here, they force you to do diplomas. They push you. Let me not say they force, they push you to do diplomas, which you benefit from. So yes, I would definitely recommend it for someone who's specifically interested in surgery and obs and gynae because of the good supervision and exposure and excellent teaching. You mentioned you were considering doing ComServe. Which department were you considering, and how many ComServes do they take? They take around about 3 to 4 ComServes per rotation. Which department would I go to? I really loved anesthesia. So anesthesia, obs and gynae, or surgery. Those are the rotations I'd be willing to go to. But so far, I think anesthesia because I really loved it. But also, I mean, if I didn't go in there, obs and gynae or surgery. How many spaces does DQ reserve for first year interns? That depends on the hospital. It's not the same. Last year they took around about 28 interns. This year they took more than 50. It depends on the hospital. No, there are no medical students. There are no medical students. We only have nursing students. We don't have any medical students. There's no medical school in Mpumalanga, unfortunately. We do get some who come maybe when they're on like recess, coming to like shadow and all of those things, but we rarely get them. We usually get clinical associates coming to join us. Yes, we do have a functional ophthalmology department. There's only one consultant though, who's full-time. So yeah, they only like take ComServes there. As an intern, I never rotated in ophthalmo. There will, yeah, the only ComServes there, but there is a functional ophthalmology department. All the DUs 1 bedroom, yes, they're all 1 bedroom apartments, but with a lot of space, a lot of space. How so? Does DK have enough space for all first year interns? So yes, some though start by sharing. So some of my friends had sharing apartments for the first few months. And then as the year went by and some ComServes left, then you got your own place. Also, let me correct myself. There are some apartments that are 2 bedroom, but those are sharing. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 kitchen. Those are sharing. But when you've been here for more than 6 months, they usually give you your own apartment, your own 1 bedroom apartment. That's how things have been. So yeah, they do have enough space for all first year interns who want to live in DQ. I don't know of anyone who didn't find a space, who wanted a space. The neurosurgery department it's okay. The consultant is really nice and he's good. He's strict, but he's really good and really nice. The problem is he's the only consultant in the department. The other one recently resigned, so it's just him, one MO, I think, and one ComServe. Yeah, and he's also in private, so he's really like overworked, but he's really good. When you're willing to learn, he will teach you. But unfortunately, he's always busy, You really catch him with a lot of time on his hands. But otherwise, the department is good. You will get exposed to different conditions. He usually will come for a really like unstable patient who needs an op. And then for his elective cases like spinal fusions, scoliosis repairs, he usually just does them alone. I've never seen him involve any interns or consultants to come to theater with him. I went last year when I was in neurosurgery because I was very fascinated at his work ethic. I wanted to see how does he do these spinal fusions and scoliosis repairs. So I did go to theater, but I didn't scrub in. He just said I can stand like next to him. So there's a sterile field that I can't break, but I was allowed to like stand just a few meters, just not to contaminate the sterile field. And I observed the operation where he was asking questions, teaching me, telling me, okay, what I'm doing here is this is how it's going to help the patient. Pretty much. That's how the department is. Yes, I'm not comfortable showing you my space. I'm not. Okay, where can I find pictures? Ah,
No, Winnie, it's fine. They can go to our YouTube channel and then they can go on the short videos. There is a video with the DQ of Ferreira, so they
oh,
can watch that video.
okay.
Yeah, so they simple go to our YouTube channel, then they go to shorts, and then I think it's the first video if I'm not mistaken. But they can also see the videos from other DQs as well.
Okay, thank you for that. By four concepts per rotation, does this include the departments you don't rotate in? Yes, it does. For example, so I didn't rotate through Pete Surge last year because there were like few interns, but they do take concepts there. Ophthalmology, I didn't rotate there, but they do take concepts. Maxillofacial surgery, they do take concepts there as well. Every surgical subdiscipline takes concept, and yeah, all the other rotations. No rotation didn't take concepts. All departments did.
Yeah.
Um, the hospital, because of the good reviews on that famous app, it's it is in demand. You know, I don't know how I got it because it was even my fifth option, but it is in demand, especially by Gauteng people. They actually really like coming to Ferreira Hospital. Um, but it's not the if you make it your first option, then you are going to get it. Nah, for us, my class, it was such a mess. ICSP, I think only 20% of the class got their first options. The others, we were mixed around. Some didn't even get any of the options. It was a mess. But honestly, for me, the reason why I wasn't sad again was because I had mentally prepared to go to all of the five hospitals I had chosen. I had done research. I'd spoken to people who were working there. Yeah, I had someone in all of the hospitals. So, for example, here I had someone who was first year intern when I was still a medical student. So when I came here, she helped me to get my bed, to move in. Yeah, so when I came here, she had already gotten my bed for me. I just had to move in with my stuff and buy furniture. And in the first month, it was really rough. So she was really supportive and helpful. That also really comes handy. Have someone in the hospitals that you want to go to, someone, it doesn't have to be like a close friend, just someone who you look up to, someone who can help you, you know. Because I didn't even know what to do. I was on call on my first day coming here, didn't know where to go. I kept calling this person, they kept directing me, and they were so patient with me also. I didn't know how to recess. They were very patient with me. They were like, okay, come down, do this, that. Go to this place, take this, yeah, call this person. You really need a support structure. Because my friends helped me together in the first month, but also someone senior who was there for me. So a good support structure is vital. Yes, swapping does work. I had the option of swapping to Newcastle, but I didn't take the option because I just felt like, this is what God wants for me, and I'm okay with the option. So let's go. The only hospital in Mpumalanga that has rural is Temba. Okay, okay. Thank you, Andile. It's Temba Hospital, and the website that has yes, it's SA Docs Hub. There's also the one. What's the name of this one? I don't remember the name of it, but I say dogs as well. Yes, there are good reviews about drops there. None about the bad stuff. Maybe it's because the good is still, yeah, it's more than the bad. Oh yeah, okay. So you have, if you want to stay in KZN because maybe you're married, you have a child that's in primary school, I mean, you can go to the police station, write a formal affidavit explaining that you, for example, you who with ID number what have 4-year-old that's about to start grade 1. This is why you cannot move to another province. you provide proof, like solid proof that you really have a child that is in this province going to this school. That's how they take social competence serious. But I should warn you that with my class, social competence wasn't even taken into consideration. I had a colleague who was married and expecting at the time, and they put in Gauteng, and the husband was left in KZN. So they swapped. Luckily, even if they tell you that you can't swap, it's not allowed, it is going to be possible. It is going to be possible. So don't panic when you don't get a hospital you want. Just go to Telegram, the apps. They will show you how to apply to exchange, who to talk to in this province. It is possible, guys. Let me not take away the hope that you can exchange if you don't get the hospital you want. It is very possible to swap. Don't listen to people that tell you that you can't swap. You can swap. Mpumalanga it is in Mpumalanga, but it's not. There are no interns there. It's I think it's a district. Yeah, I think it's a district. Yeah, but it is also in Mpumalanga. Yes, there were orientations here. So I had 3 days of orientation, meaning I didn't go to the hospital for those 3 days after I arrived. I was doing calls though. So you get the first 2 days to just settle in, but you will do your call. So at 4 p.m., you go to the hospital, you introduce yourself to wherever you need to introduce yourself, whatever department you're in. You'll be communicating with group reps, consultants will call you, MOs will call you. So you will have rest during the day. You'll just go for calls. That's all. But the orientation is good. All departments come and speak to you, even rehab, including physio, OT, speech. These people come and talk to you. That's how I got orientated about the hospital, the policies. They helped us to read our contracts properly so that we know our rights. There was a proper orientation. Let me see. Yeah, you expected. So I arrived on the 31st of December because I wanted to settle in on the 1st. My call was on the 2nd of January. So I just arrived early for my own good, just to settle in and, to prepare for my first call. But I didn't go to hospital in the morning. I only went at 4 p.m. for the call. So, yeah. You can arrive on the day, but I thought it was easy for me to arrive a day before. I will look up another website about internship reviews, and I will let Andile know, and he will pass it on to you because I really forgot the name of it. How many leave days per rotation? So in a year, you have 22 days, and you're allowed to take 3 days off sick without a sick note. After 3 days, you need to provide a sick note. So of these 22 days, it's just your leave days. Per rotation, you're allowed to take 5 days, 5 full days in the big rotations. Big rotations are Gen Surg, Internal Medicine, ONG, and PEDS. With the smaller rotations, you only allowed 4 days. This is psych, this is anesthesia, this is ortho. In family medicine, you have 10 days, which in this hospital, you can't take them all at the same time. You need to break them. So you'll take maybe your first 5 in this month, because family medicine, our rotation is 6 months. So you choose when to take this 5 days and when to take the other 5 days. The 22 days is in one of the big rotations, you can then exceed and take 6 days because you have those days. You are entitled to those days. I don't know if it's different with other provinces, but yeah, that's how things are. So the Telegram group, I'll just have to go check it because I think I even deleted Telegram because I didn't need it. I accepted where I was. I didn't really need to swap. So, but I will ask around because some people still have Telegram groups. Yes. So asynchronous doctors, they don't really get proper orientation. Because, for example, the ones who joined us in July, they just came, okay, they were just told over the phone that you're starting with this rotation. This is how the department works. Morning meetings are at this time, but they didn't get the good orientation that I got. No, they're not really given the same orientation. You just thrown into the deep end pretty much. But the nice thing about working in this hospital is within a week or two, you're going to be orientated because you go everywhere. Whether you are dealing with an internal medicine patient, an ONG patient, you do encounter patients that need rehab. So you get familiar with the other departments. You will get used to referring patients. Usually our MOs are the ones that are required to discuss, but you also do discuss as an intern. So you get familiar. So even though you don't get the same orientation and free days as the interns who come in the beginning of the year, you do, get used to things and how they work as days go by. Do you by any chance know if a final year students? Can you please repeat the question, Deborah? I don't think I understand.
And you can just unmute the bell and then ask your question verbally.
Are you asking if do I know by any chance if the final year students, or do I know of any final year students after I got better placement?
Hi, sorry. So I was basically just asking if the final year group after you, do you know if if a lot of them also got placed outside of their top five or like got their last options, or if they had like better where they got their second, third, or first?
Oh, so the final year students that I know of last year, I think 80% of the class of 2024, 80% of them got their first choices. It was the other 20% that was unfortunate, but the other 20%, I think the ones I know of, they did not get placed outside of their five choices. It was just within the five choices that they had chosen, just not their first option.
Winnie, I'm sure that you have heard about the other rotation that you haven't done, of which I think it's auto and family medicine. Can you maybe please share with us on what have you heard about those few rotations since you haven't done them as yet?
Okay, no problem. I'm currently doing ortho. So with ortho, as I said, there's not really like the greatest supervision. It's only one or two MOs that will come out with you. Like it was my first week, but every time I went to casualty when I was on call, I would go alone. I was applying back slabs alone. I was referring to YouTube and some stuff from medical school on how to apply proper slabs because there's below knee, there's above knee, you need to make sure neurovascular is intact when you're doing these things. You need to be able to reduce properly. So the supervision isn't the greatest in ortho, but it's a good department as well. Don't really go to theater. It's only the seniors that go there. Yeah, the theory is very straightforward. It's bones. You just need to learn the classifications because how they classify determines the management, how to admit patients, see if it's a stable patient or not. Polytraumas are usually shared between gen surg and ortho. So reduced and immobilized a fracture and the patient has abdominal injuries, they need to go to gen surg, things like that. You just need to be able to identify and separate how to manage these patients. That's pretty much it. With family medicine, what I've heard is so we were a small group of interns. So again, they're doing like 96 plus hours. Um, the casualty calls are really exhausting. My friends are usually very tired. They do have supervision, but sometimes it's not the greatest. Sometimes they're left alone to resusc patients. It can be a mess, but otherwise it's okay. A healthy working environment, just some MOs can be, a bit lazy and all of that, not come through for you and all of that. But there is through clinics, through casualty, through our main OPD, and where else? They don't go to a district hospital anymore. I don't know why that was closed. I'm yet to find out if they're still going or not, but yeah. So the reviews from my friends is it's okay. It's just not the best, but it's okay. They are exposed to a lot. They do a lot, which is what I think I'm gonna enjoy. But the other things, Not so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so sold out. I'm thinking of Rob now. Thank you so much for that. Oh, okay, guys. I think the websites for reviews, we have reviews on our websites as well, just that we don't have all the hospitals, but I will share the link on the group with you. And then also you can look at the SA Docs Hub. Then I think there's another one called the Quick Beats. And then I think the last one is Placement Pal. So it's those, I think, four websites that you can check the reviews on. Also, if you have Facebook, you can go to the Facebook. There's a page on Facebook. It's called Medical Internship South Africa. So you can just join the group and then go to the search button in that group and then search any hospital that you wanna you're thinking of. Then you can see the reviews from the previous doctors that have been there for their internship. So I think you can do that as well. With the Telegram thing, I'm not sure if it's gonna work with us because last year they started this thing of swiping on the ICSP site. So you are not so allowed, they were not allowed to swap amongst themselves. So if you want to swipe, you just I think there's something that you complete on the website that then you can swipe from the website. So I'm not sure if it's gonna stay the same with us this year, but we will hear from them when we do this the ICSP orientation thingy. Okay, no problem. I will share, or I will share. And then I guess there are no other questions. But Winnie, if there's someone who wants to get into contact with you, do you have any social media where they can maybe follow you and then ask their questions? Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to ask anything, you can give them my personal number or they can contact me on Instagram. I'm Winnie Leskakan on Instagram as well. But they're more than welcome to WhatsApp me. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, if you need Dr. Skakani's number, you can just let me know. So you can just DM me, then I will share it with you. Sorry, Winnie, there's one question that was sent to me via WhatsApp. It said whether the specialty ComServe exists, and if so, which specialties offer it. I'm not sure if you have answered that as well, but if you haven't, you can just answer it now.
What's the question?
Okay, I'm just gonna read it again. So it says, I asked about whether the specialty ComServe exists, and if so, which specialists offer it.
Okay. So ComServes go into all the departments that exist at ROBS. So GenSurg has subspecialties of plastics, urology, ophthalmo. They have maxillofacial, they have neurosurgery, they have peds-surg. Consults go into all of those. They go into internal medicine, they go into peds, they go into ONG, they go into anesthesia, family medicine, ortho, psych. Every department takes consults in this hospital. So I don't know if that was the question.
I'm sure they are answered. If they are not answered, I guess then they will ask your number from me, then I can send them. Thank you so much, Dr. Skakanya, for joining us today. We really appreciate you that you took your time. And that's your post call as well. Imagine being post call and then having to come here and join us while you're supposed to be resting and everything. But we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best with your ComServe. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andile. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys. You're welcome. I also wish you the very best with this year. More cum laudes from this class, more summa cum laudes. Thank you very much. all the best with applying, and I hope each and every person gets their first choice or any of the 5 choices that they want, that they're comfortable with. Thank you very much. I wish you guys all the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We'll upload the video on YouTube.